She stood at the back of the auditorium, her hands trembling as she clutched a small, worn photo in her palm. A photo of her son at age 5, grinning in a hand-drawn superhero cape. Just beyond the velvet ropes, rows of proud parents sat under the warm spotlight. Her son, now tall and poised in his graduation gown, scanned the crowd with hopeful eyes. And then, two security guards stepped forward. "You don't have a seat." "Assigned, ma'am," one of them said coldly. "You'll have to leave the area," the other added. The nurse blinked, confusion flashing across her face. She didn't speak. She didn't argue. She simply nodded and began to turn around. No one knew yet what she had sacrificed to be there. Her name was Clara Dawson. For 22 years, she had served in field hospitals across war zones most couldn't find on a map. From the deserts of Fallujah to the flooded ruins of Haiti, she had worked through sleepless nights and mortar fire, stitching wounds while praying her own heart wouldn't break from the stories she carried. She'd missed birthdays, holidays, even the first time her son rode a bike, but she never missed a letter. Every month, she wrote to Noah with the same ending. "When the day comes, I'll be there, front row, center." Life, however, rarely keeps its promises neat. The military flight she was supposed to take home was delayed by 19 hours. By the time she arrived, the campus was packed. Every seat was filled. Her name wasn't on any list. But she came anyway, standing quietly at the back, unseen, but not unloved. Noah didn't know his mother had arrived. He thought the delay meant she'd missed the ceremony entirely, like so many moments before. Meanwhile, the guards, tasked with maintaining order, saw only what was in front of them: a tired woman in scuffed boots and a wrinkled blouse, standing where she shouldn't be. They didn't see the scars on her knuckles, the medals tucked inside her purse, the fatigue that came not from lack of rest, but from saving too many lives. "No exceptions," one guard muttered as they escorted her down the aisle toward the exit. The sound of the principal's welcome echoed overhead. Laughter, applause, joy she couldn't claim. As Clara walked slowly down the side aisle, a hand brushed past her shoulder, a quiet apology from a mother who had seen what was happening, but didn't speak. Around her, heads turned, but no one stood up, except for one man in uniform, and then another, and another. 10 men rose from their seats at once. They wore suits, but there was no mistaking who they were. Their posture, their silence, their eyes, Navy SEALs, former operatives, each with a presence that commanded the air like thunder before a storm. One by one, they stepped into the aisle. As Clara was led toward the doors, "Is there a problem here?" one asked the guard, his voice calm, but weighty. The guard faltered. "She doesn't have a seat." "She has ours," another SEAL said, removing the graduation program from his lap and stepping aside. The guards exchanged a glance. And in that moment, just 5 seconds of suspended breath, the auditorium fell into a silence so pure it cracked open something sacred. Because someone, somewhere, had finally seen her, Clara stood frozen. The men who now surrounded her were not strangers. Each one had once sat beside her in tents soaked with blood and sand. She had stitched their wounds, held their hands, whispered prayers when all hope seemed gone. They owed her nothing, but gave everything. One SEAL gently took her hand. "Come sit with us, Doc," he said, using the nickname they'd given her in the field. "You saved more of us than we can count." As she was led to the front row, 10 seats rearranged without question, the crowd remained breathless. The ceremony resumed. The principal stammered, but the story had already changed. When Noah finally walked the stage and spotted her, his mother, front and center, flanked by the men she'd once saved, he paused, and for the first time in public, he wept. After the ceremony, no cameras caught what happened next. There were no reporters, no trending hashtags. But as Noah embraced his mother, he whispered, "I knew you'd find a way." The SEALs quietly disappeared back into the crowd, but their silence had thundered louder than any speech. They hadn't just given up a seat. They had honored a life, a legacy of invisible battles, stitched with compassion and sacrifice. Clara didn't need applause. She had her son in her arms. And finally, for once in her life, she was home to in a world that often forgets the quiet heroes among us. This moment reminded everyone what true respect looks like. Not in medals, not in seats, but in standing up, when no one else does. That if this story stirred something inside you, don't scroll past, share it. Honor someone who sacrificed in silence. And if you believe the world needs more moments like this, subscribe. Because kindness this brave should never go unnoticed.